Iran rejects President Trump's 15-point peace plan. They issued their own counteroffer, which reads more like a list of demands, including the removal of American sanctions and full sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, which would allow them to control more than 20% of the world's oil. Iran also launching more attacks on Israel and the Gulf Arab countries today. Depicting a missile destroying the Statue of Liberty with the head of the ancient deity Baal. The clip portrays the U.S. as a global enemy, touching on various wars, the Epstein scandal, before ending with the chilling slogan, "One vengeance for all." Lego-themed Iranian propaganda videos are also going viral. Experts warn these deep fakes are calculated propaganda designed to influence Americans.
Yo, what's up, guys? American Mexican Gunslinger. Today we got ourselves some crazy videos. What's up, Diana? What's up? This is getting crazy right now. The war in Iran, the war with all these political parasites and all these people in this war are just continuously putting this propaganda. Iran is literally kicking our butts right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the way it is. We didn't ask for this war. This military government, these parasites, these political pedos, they're the ones that are asking for it. What's up, Tartarian? What's up? But ladies and gentlemen, things are kicking off. Did you see that missile hitting the Statue of Liberty and it looked like Baal? Like, what the heck? How would the Iranians know what these people worship? How would they know that they continuously know about what Trump and the Epstein files and all these things that they have been doing? How would they know that? Are they part of it as well? Because I'm pretty sure majority of all these countries are in it together. Like I said, there's a peace treaty that happened in Antarctica, and all the countries in the world agreed to it, that they wouldn't attack it for one reason or another. It's just the way things are, ladies and gentlemen. The things are escalating so quickly. The United States is looking so weak right now, so weak. It's not even funny. The Iranians have been using UAV, these drones and these EPVs. They've been using them back to back. They are literally flying a $50,000 drone and they're being intercepted by $1 million missile. Like, this doesn't make no sense whatsoever at all. And people are continuously doing these things. Especially when it comes to the government. Trump says, oh, we're making peace talk, we're making peace treaty and all this stuff. If you're a Trump supporter, man, this channel is not for you. Go find some Trump supporting person somewhere else, because I'm literally against both sides. Like I said, I'm gonna have these in my shop. Same bird, different wings. It's just the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. They're just there to divide and conquer as much as possible, because the people in today's world, they're just stuck up with the world. They're just like, yeah, let's go attack Iran, let's go the U.S. troops, yeah, let's war hawk these people and all this stuff. All these people that are screaming bloody war, when this comes to U.S. soil, because eventually it will come to U.S. soil, it will, these people will not be prepared whatsoever at all. Once they see these freaking 1-ton freaking missiles start hitting U.S. soil, once they start seeing drones attacking their homes, just like Tel Aviv is getting hit back to back by Iran, once those missiles start hitting here at home at U.S. soil, all these normies are going to be like, why did this happen to me? How come my children got blown up by bombs? Even though when the United States goes overseas and starts attacking all these innocent women and children and men, and start attacking civilians, and all these people end up getting blown up into bits and pieces, and it's just like, oh, how come you're crying victim, now you're crying wolf? Like, come on, ladies and gentlemen, this is the craziest part about this. That's why I tell you, don't be part of this political parasitic agenda. Just don't be part of it. We are followers of Christ. We are looking for peace, but war is gonna come, ladies and gentlemen. War is gonna absolutely come. They're gonna try to enslave as many people in America as possible, because of course we have a national debt that's just continuously climbing up. Regardless of what's going to happen, we are going to be in the middle of this, ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it or not. If you are an American citizen, you're going to be the first ones to get hit the hardest. It's just the way it is. We didn't ask for this war. We didn't ask to be part of Israel's freaking little war, because if the United States were to be very, very smart and cautious, Trump would have been like, you know what, Israel, go do it yourself. You wanna go attack Iran? Go do it yourself. We wouldn't be in the middle of this. But of course, Israel owns the United States. Of course, Israel has puppet strings on Donald J. Trump. Israel owns Donald J. Trump, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, yes, Tartarian, yes, I'm just going to call you vagabond. Yes, lockdowns are coming, but those lockdowns are going to be, they're going to say it's for the electricity. It's for all this, the grids and all this energy saving stuff. And it's not going to be because of that, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be because they're going to start bombing the United States of America, and they're not going to want U.S. civilians out in the streets while the military patrols everything. Martial law is going to come silently, and a lot of people are not going to expect it. They're not going to expect it. If you're out there while they're over there trying to tell you, go inside your house because we are patrolling the areas because we're going to get hit by bombs, we're going to get hit by UAVs, we're going to get hit by sleeper cells, Iranian soldiers, whatever the case is, they're going to want you in your homes regardless if they start bombing your homes, because they don't want the American civilians to get involved with this one way or another, because the American government knows that there's a lot of civilians in this world that do not correlate with their agenda. It's just the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. So many people are going to be lost in the United States. Like vagabond, like, I don't know how it is in Australia, brother, but here in the United States, we have the right to bear arms. We have the Second Amendment right, but a lot of us Americans here in this country are just so dumbfounded. It's not even funny. We call them normies. These people who live their everyday lives like nothing is going to happen. Those people are going to get hit the hardest. Iranian propaganda is at the utmost scale right now, ladies and gentlemen. It is embarrassing how the United States looks. It's like all these other countries in the world are going to label us as like we're child predators. But in reality, it's all the government that is doing this. They're the ones orchestrating this. Thousands of children go missing every day. We never find traces of these children because the government, the so-called pedos, the elites that run this country, the banksters, and all these people that are involved with Kabbalah, witchcraft, sorcery, and these satanic spells and these satanic rituals. These people are involved in so much heaviness that's why they put the Epstein files out there. They put it for the American people. And what did the American people do? Nothing. They didn't do crap. The reason why they didn't let do crap because they want these people to run this country. They want it. They want these child pedos to run this country. That's the way the American people are. They're so dumbfounded in their phones, stuck in their everyday life, playing video games, going and fornicating, using drugs, using alcohol, going to the club, just mindless entertainment, watching the game, watching football game, watching these new so-called movies that have nothing to do with anything when it comes to just mindless entertainment, just to get you away from the ball, just to get you away from all the intention that's happening around you, to get you away from the spiritual realm, to get you away from the spiritual warfare so you don't see it. They continuously do this to all of us at a daily basis, and all we can do is just pray about it and ask God for guidance, because these days are growing short, and there's going to be a time and a place, well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, when these bombs, when these FPV drones start attacking so-called big places, when you start seeing bodies on U.S. soil, when you start seeing U.S. soldiers being destroyed, the Iranians, They're not going to care about the civilians here in the United States, just like us Americans. The government didn't care about the civilians there that they bombed. It's going to be the same way. You think the Iranians care about the civilians in Tel Aviv and Israel? No, they don't care about them, because they're just going to simply bomb whoever, because that's the way the war is. That's the way the war is, ladies and gentlemen. It's ugly. It's dirty. People don't understand how bad this is going to get. It's going to be bad. And I'm telling you right now, be prepared spiritually, mentally, and physically, especially you, those that are living in the United States of America. This war is coming to U.S. soil, regardless if you like it or not. All these people that are just, cheering for the U.S. soldiers to attack Iran and to take them on, they have no idea what's going on. War is changing dramatically, ladies and gentlemen. It's changing dramatically. If you have seen the videos in Ukraine and Russian war where they're just bombing and attacking themselves with drones, it gets ugly. These people who live in the trenches in Ukraine, regardless which side it is on, they have to live in trenches, and they have to move from trench to areas. But ladies and gentlemen, the battlefield changed dramatically once you start hearing a buzzy noise on top of you, and you start seeing these drones dropping bombs on you and kamikazing towards you with a bomb just to take you out. That's the thing that war has been orchestrated for time immemorial. The war is changing. The lives are going to be easily dispersed, real easily to get away with, because these lives are just going to be wasted for no apparent reason when an automatic drone can just take you out easily. So boots on the ground is something that's old generation. It's old generational warfare. And I'm telling you, so many people are not going to be ready for this, ladies and gentlemen. They're not going to be ready. Diane, they are claiming that white plague is the rise in the USA, saying it's deadlier than the pandemic and antibiotics resistance too. I mean, yeah. Hey, what's up, Tony? What's up? Oh, what's up, Sterling? Yes, you caught the live. You are catching the live. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you another propaganda video that Iran has just recently put up, and it's going to be a full video of everything that they're continuously doing. Hold on, let me work this up. Hold on. How crazy is that? What the heck? What is that? And ladies and gentlemen, it took me a while to find this video. I could not find it anywhere on YouTube. I only found news networks who were showing that, oh, this is Iranian propaganda. But really, I had to find this on X. And this is getting spread out everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. But did you see that? They're literally talking about nuclear missiles, nuclear warheads, which in fact I don't necessarily believe that they have nuclear missiles, but I believe that they have something like similar to that will cause a lot of harm and chaos. But this is just getting out of hand, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get out of hand. And of course, they hit the Statue of Liberty, which symbolizes Baal in their depiction of their video. It's insane. How do they know that these people are Baal worshippers? How do they know? And of course, they put the Epstein Island right there. Tony, it can possibly be CIA propaganda, but this was made in Iran, so it's like you can't really say it's CIA. You know what I'm saying? So it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy, ladies and gentlemen, and it's continuously just happening over and over and over again. Hold on, I'm glitching out. I don't know what the heck is going on with my live right now. Hold on. What's up, Patrick? What's up? I'm glitching out. They don't want me to talk about these things. They don't want me to talk about these things whatsoever at all. I mean, Tony, if they're making these videos, it's for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like they're putting this out there because they're gonna want to destroy Babylon, regardless if whoever's posting these things up. Whoever's posting them up, they know what's going to happen. They know what's gonna cause chaos and havoc. And of course, the news medias and all these people are saying that Iran's putting this propaganda and all these things that are happening. And Trump's over here saying, oh, yes, we're going to bomb everybody. We have bombed everything in Iran. They have no more supplies. But in reality, ladies and gentlemen, the media doesn't tell us the truth, and they never will tell us the truth. The media is owned by Israel. So you have to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. But at the same time, I don't know if you guys can hear me clear as day because my computer was glitching. Just leave down a comment if you can hear me clearly, because my computer was glitching and going crazy right now. They don't want me to put up this information, ladies and gentlemen. They just don't want me to put this information up for some reason. It's just the way it is sometimes, especially when we're doing lives. Crazy things can happen. Crazy things can happen. Cool. All right. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I got another propaganda video, and this one I know for sure was made in Iran, ladies and gentlemen. It's again with the whole Lego propaganda videos that they put up. I showed you the first Lego video that they came out with, and it was about the United States Tomahawk destroying the little girls' school in Iran. This one, it's trippy. It's very trippy. It seems like it's very strategic. It seems like it's very detailed. And it seems like it's slapping Donald Trump and making him look like a fat coward he is, the way it is. You know, that's just the way it is, man. It's just the way it is. Because Donald Trump's a devil. He is owned by Israel. He is not for the American people whatsoever at all. He's a magician. He's a sorcerer. He's a witch. He's a warlock. MAGA means magician in all the languages of the world. If you don't believe me, go look this up for yourself. This is why I don't have any political ties. Look at my shirt. It says, don't follow politics, follow Jesus. That's the way I roll, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ is my king. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't like what I'm saying, go look up some other video about some MAGA person talking about what I'm saying. Go look up your liberal buddies about what they're talking about, because I ain't in none of these political denominations whatsoever at all, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to play the footage for you. Go back. What the heck is that? What? You see Donald Trump right here laying in his bed, and you see these little girl dolls, which they're not dolls. They're actual little girls. They're actually blinking, and you see on top of his head the all-seeing eye and the American flag right next to him, and he's on his phone texting. Let's see what he's texting. I think it's going to be a little bit blurry, but I think later on in the video it becomes more clear. What the heck is that? What? Netanyahu is all destroyed, all messed up. And it says right there in the back, I want you to keep quiet. And he's on his phone laughing, being... What the heck happened to him? Did he get blown up? Is that what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen? What the heck? Bro, what the heck is going on? I'm sorry if you cannot like laugh throughout this video, like, you know, have a little bit of humor. I know it's a very dark topic, but man, this is hilarious. That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm gonna continue on with the video. It says right there, all Iranian military fleets have been completely destroyed. What? What? And of course, that's what Donald Trump has been saying for a while. He's been saying, "Oh yeah, we destroyed everything that Iran has." And checked. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm gonna play the footage. Bro, this is evil. I don't want to laugh about this because this is disgusting. This is true. I told you that's not a doll. That's an actual little girl. And Donald Trump's over here, the little girl is crying. Like, dude, this is evil. This is evil. Like, this is absolutely evil. And look at Trump's face. He looks so demonic, so mad, like happy that he destroyed everything. Oh my gosh, this is insane, ladies and gentlemen. This is insane. I'm gonna keep playing the footage. Wow, look at all that. He has all his arsenals hidden underground, where the government can't touch it. So everything that these Iranian people put up on the surface were just fakes. They were just fakes. So they basically got the US to use all their arsenal, all the Tomahawk missiles, all these bombs for nothing. And we're just going deeper and deeper in debt. And Iranians are like, well, you didn't get anything. You didn't get everything because, you just got what you can see. You didn't get what we're hiding. And that is the crazy part about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy that Iran is literally playing these mind games with the United States of America. And they don't give a crap right now. They don't give a crap. And that's just telling you one thing or another, that Iran is ready. They're ready. They basically don't believe the USA is strong enough. And I honestly believe the United States is the most weakest country right now. They're not a superpower. We're not. We're a third world country. If we were a superpower, all of our infrastructures here in the United States would be beautiful. Everyone would be sober-minded. Everyone would be clean. Everyone would have a clean slate. Everyone would be having money to spend. But no, this is crazy. This is crazy. Tony, I know, right? Cannot stand. No one can stand politics, bro. No one can stand politics. Diane, yeah, dude, when I was growing up, I was never into politics. I just couldn't be into politics because all these people were lying off their butt. Donald Trump, when Hillary Clinton was there, lock her up. Did he lock her up? No, he completely lied. He also said that he's not a Christian. If you believe he's a Christian, you just been deceived. Yes, Patrick, so many Americans have been deceived. We have been deceived, ladies and gentlemen. He about says the same stuff all the time. Yeah, Diane, it just gets freaking old with this freaking president, They have been getting ready for this for 50 years. Of course, but you have to understand this too, that China supplies them with all these military armaments, ladies and gentlemen. They're also allies with Russia as well. So they have two superpowers that are allying with Iran. Iran is claiming that they have over 1 million fighters and are primed. Yes, Diana, yes, but they don't need their fighters. They have all their drone support. So whoever they're going to send, like Trump said, I'm going to send 20,000 Marines. I'm gonna guess, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna guess they're all gonna get blown up by drones because this military isn't ready for squat. They're not ready. They're still playing the old games of, oh yeah, boots on the ground is gonna be effective when Of course, Iran has been studying the Ukrainian and Russian war because Russia is one of their allies. Of course, they're gonna know drone warfare at the best, at the minimum. Richie stopped by, huh? The Banshee. Ultimately, though, sometimes I think all the governments around the world are working to. Yeah, Tony, that's what it is. This is all orchestrated. Like I said, and that Antarctica, the Treaty of Antarctica, all these countries, like, oh yes, they're all gonna be how you call it, sign a treaty and say we're not gonna attack Antarctica. You know, we're gonna leave it alone. Yeah, me and Richie were talking about how the innocent people are getting bombed, and these are the people who are gonna suffer. The innocent people have no involvement whatsoever at all with these wars, with these so-called lies that they continuously orchestrate over and over again, ladies and gentlemen. It's just BS. It's BS. Like, why would they involve civilians? Of course they want to involve civilians. This is a mass ritual for as many casualties as they can to have this blood sacrifice and get as much power from Satan as possible. This is all just a giant satanic sacrifice. That's all it is. Did you ever hear David Wilkerson? He said years ago that China and Russia will invade them. Of course they will invade Russia, China and Russia will invade America. You know, I used to be a gamer. I used to play video games a lot. There is a game called Battlefield 3. If you guys ever played it, I know you guys are probably not gamers like I was, but I was an extreme gamer when I was younger. There's this game called Battlefield 3. And who are you fighting? You're fighting China and Russia. Like, what? Like, really? The USA is fighting China and Russia. It is crazy. Found your channel through RFB. Love your work, my friend. Thank you, Vagabond. Thank you. Oh yeah, they all put that crap in these games. Of course they put this crap in these games, Tony. Of course they do it. It's all for mind manipulation. Is to get us ready for all these things. And you know, when I was playing Battlefield, I felt like immersed. I felt like I was doing my part. You know, we're doing strategic things. You know, blowing up tanks, flying helicopters, blowing up jets. You know, it's all strategic to see what mentality that these people who play these video games will have. Because, you know, when it comes to the real world, we only have one life. You do not respawn. You get shot in your arm is bleeding. You have no way to use that arm. Your arm's disabled unless you have a tourniquet to stop the bleeding, but you're going to continuously bleed till you pass out and then, of course, lose your life. The people who play these video games have no idea how it's going to be in real life scenario when it comes to war. There's so many people that were playing Call of Duty that ended up joining the military because of it, and then freaking 2-3 hours later, after going to boot camp, after stepping into the boot camp and going there, they're like, I want to get out. This was not for me. I did not expect this. They thought that they were just going to get a gun and become operators right off the back. No, that's not how it works. Part of us is these people feel invincible and yes, they always feel ignorant about this. Stick to the old games. Yes, Banshee, you know, sometimes it's cool playing video games, but, you know, like my brother Richie says, it just wastes your time. It just simply wastes your time when you can be doing so many other things with that time. And that's all it is, you know. There's this cool video game that I just wanted to get for the PS5, which I don't even own a PS5, and then the new Resident Evil game, you know, killing zombies and all this stuff and all these biohazard weapons that they have created, which I don't doubt they have. But, you know, I can't do that because it's just going to take away the distraction of what I am, but I'm going to continue with the video. Wow, look at, and he has these water mines, and he has this whole arsenal underground. That is crazy. Yes, Tony. Yes, it is. But these gamers have no idea. They have no clue whatsoever at all. These half of these gamers don't even know how to use a freaking rifle. They don't even know how to take down a rifle. I can take down an AR-15 blindfolded, ladies and gentlemen. I can take down a Glock blindfolded, ladies and gentlemen. Literally, I am good with firearms. That's why my channel is called American Mexican Gunslinger. I started this channel based on firearms. I'm really handy with them. I know how to clean them. I know how to work with them. I know how to, make them run when there's some kind of problem. I like to tinker with these things. That's good, Banshee. Don't play these games, man. Don't play these games, man. Listen to the whole bike trail video today while I had him. Yeah, Tony. Alright, I'm gonna continue playing this video. Wow. Wow, look at all those ships, ladies and gentlemen. Of course they're gonna... Wow. What? They're under... Bro, what? They're underwater? Of course no one's gonna touch them if they're underwater. What's up, Doc Shelley? What's up? Of course they have a cargo ship coming in. They're gonna... Oh my gosh. Wow, of course they hit the dock. These are cargo ships, ladies and gentlemen. So whatever cargo ship is trying to get through, Doc Shally, this is the new Lego video, propaganda video that Iran has just released. They have been releasing a lot of propaganda videos for a while. It's just insanity. But wow, look at that. And of course, you see the 250th anniversary in the economics front page that a cargo ship is literally shooting the U.S. bank, the so-called 250th anniversary cake. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Things are gonna happen. Call me Deadeye Banshee. Yes, Doc Shally, we are kind of effed right now. It is the end of times, but ladies and gentlemen, fear not, Jesus Christ is with us. Right after the end of Richie's video, I had a spell of television. Weird. Oh, yeah. The reason why is because his freaking trail video when he's riding the freaking bike, it's just moving forward continuously. And when you look away, it looks weird. I'm just like, oh, that's why I couldn't really stare at it, his video. But I would hear it majority of the time. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna keep going with the video. Wow, of course they depict Americans as fat slobs. Of course, because majority of Americans in today's world are all fat and lazy. Like I said, these people will get freaking what's it called? All these benefits from being disabled because they weigh 100, 800, 600 freaking pounds and they eat nothing but these these GMO foods that are full of poisons, full of bad stuff, and of course they have to depict us like that. Yes, Banshee, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Yeah, Doc Shally, like I said, his video was hard to watch. That's why I heard majority of it. And I would kind of like look away, and I'd be like, man, I'm getting dizzy. It's because he's just going, forward. Only if you would like to bring the camera up a little bit more and show us, the trail that he's riding on, it would probably be less, disorientated. But yeah, I get what you mean. All right, let's play this video. Oh my gosh! Of course they're gonna hit these cargo ships with drones, ladies and gentlemen. They're gonna hit whatever cargo ship that comes through. They're gonna hit them with drones because of course Iran is closing all that side where all these cargo ships are going, and they're not letting anything come in, and they're not letting anything come through. So they're basically have all the shipping cargo containers that are coming in and out, they have that blocked. They're basically literally have that on lockdown, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why gas prices are going up. That's why everything in all these places who get oil from Iran, they're all going up in price, and they're not able to get access to it. And that's why Trump's like, we got to get our emergency oil reserves, because they're not getting any oil at all. It's crazy. I was in the U.S. Navy back. Yeah, Doc Shelley. Yeah, this country is already messed up. That's why I love this country. I really love this country. I really do. But we can't think worldly anymore about this. We cannot think worldly about this country anymore. We have to think about it spiritually. We got to follow Jesus Christ the way we do these things. You don't tell your enemy what you're going to do. Exactly, Banshee. Of course, Trump's over here having these night sweats and getting all scared and stuff. Man. Oh, there it is. The gas pumps, there it is. What does that say? $70 a gallon? Cold War, Desert Storm. Yeah, they have fattened the U.S. and lazy Slavs, right? Yep, Stoney. All these wars were just BS, ladies and gentlemen. All these wars that were orchestrated by the United States, we didn't win none of them. We didn't even win anything. The true wars that happened were World War I, World War II, just like Albert Pike was mentioning. And of course, Albert Pike mentioned also, the 33 Freemason, the High Mason, Master Mason, whatever you want to call this fat tard. This dude was talking about World War III. If you guys have seen Richie's recent channel about that, his video, he was mentioning that Albert Pike was talking and mentioning about World War III. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Doc Shelley, it's sad. It's embarrassing sometimes, because it's just like me. I don't even want to like be like, oh, I'm proud of. I'm awesome. Like, I want to be, a proud American, but in today's world, I can't say that. Like, there's nothing to be proud of anymore in this country. Of course, all these MAGA people, they're already, losing faith in freaking Donald Trump. They're already losing faith in him, and a lot of people are just hard to be as an American citizen and know that we are being played like fools. And I know a lot of you guys in the comment section, a lot of you guys watching this video right now, you guys didn't want to be part of this war. You guys didn't want to be involved in any of this. I didn't. No one wanted. That U.S. Marine who got his arm broken by that U.S. Senator, he didn't want to be involved in this war. So many of us, so many U.S. troops have died because of these lies. They have risked their lives over lies, these political freaking parasites. And of course, you cannot just blame these political parasites either. You have to blame also the political rats, the people, these normies who continue just investing their time in these political freaking parasites. These rats are infested with these parasites, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I tell you, if any one of these people are Trump supporters or Democrats, or they label themselves as that, liberals, all these people who don't follow Jesus Christ, who are not following our true Messiah, those people don't trust them. It's just, you can't trust someone who doesn't have a spiritual aspect, doesn't have the Holy Spirit, doesn't talk about the biblical aspect that's what's taking place right now, because all these things are orchestrated, ladies and gentlemen. All these things are orchestrated, you know. In reality, most people joined the military because they wanted to protect. They just did not know. Guys, when I wanted to join the Marine Corps, what was the number one reason why I wanted to join? It wasn't to protect and serve. I wanted to kill. I'm just being honest with you. I wanted to kill. And that's the thing about me, is the fact that I grew out of that mindset. I wanted to go to war. I wanted to use firearms against one another. I wanted to go blow up things. I wanted to go I wanted to become a sniper. I wanted to do reconnaissance. I wanted to do all these things when I wanted to join the Marine Corps. I was literally like, on my MCJ ROTC class, I was like the number top 5, because there was top 5 people that were good on their PT scores, that were good in all these things. You know, I was in the rifle team. I was a really good shot. And ladies and gentlemen, so many people don't understand that. You know, I know a few months before COVID and things started, it was gonna go down. Yep, and people didn't stand up for COVID. Look, 75% of the entire freaking world has gotten those shots, has gotten those coup shots. Nobody wanted to stand up, and look at all the freaking censorship that YouTube has placed on top of us. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play this video. Oh my. They have freaking boat drones with explosives on. Oh my. I have never. Man, this is crazy. Yeah, I was going to say that too, but I decided to leave that part out. Yeah. That's why we have so many psychopathic police officers. I wanted to be a cop too, and guess what? I wanted to actually be a cop to protect and serve, but you know, I grew up in the streets, so you know, when you start selling herb and you start, you know, slinging pills and drinking alcohol and smoking weed, you know, and becoming a hoodlum and going towards you know, saying, you know, yeah, NWA, you know what I'm saying? You know, all that stuff. You kind of just don't want to be associated with, you know, those people. I was a preventative medical technician. I studied immunizations, infectious disease. I knew the day one COVID was BS. Yes, Doc Shally, there was a lot of interviews that our brother Richie did with all these doctors and people who had credentials saying that this was all just false. It was all fake. And sadly to say, you know, some of those people just ended up losing their jobs because of it too. I was a Navy corpsman. I knew it was BS. Yes, Iran has a lot of boat drones. Doc Shally, I didn't know that. I really did not know that there were such thing as drones like that. You know, I'd always assumed there was always drones like in the sky, you know, air drones, you know, for UAVs, FPVs and all that. But I never assumed that, oh my gosh, that so many U.S. troops are going to die. That's all I can say. Yep, Banshee, harass and collect. That's what they do, man. They're all, and then 98% of these police officers are in Freemasonry. They are in the Brotherhood. Just remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. It's funny. I'm sorry about my curse. That is funny. He's on a rubber ducky. That's bad. I saw some propaganda with all of them, hundreds and hundreds of small boats in Iran. I didn't realize that there were drones. Yes, Tony. Yes, that's what I'm saying. My channel, Angels and Demons. 714 was banned in the late 2020. Yes, yes, Patrick. Yes, I got hit with a lot of. I got hit with my first community guide strike because of that, and it was because I was talking about the coof shots while I was out in the range. So those two don't really mix together. They don't mix together. Wow. Check that out. How many Americans in today's world do you see them praying? Praying to Jesus, praying to our Heavenly Father. Like, almost none. Banshee, well, we were literally discussing about the things that Richie explained in his video, to be honest. Like, the current events that are happening right now in today's world, like, it's just crazy. And then he was explaining to me, how to be prepared and all these things, and we as people, we talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, because this ain't no game. This ain't no freaking game. I don't watch Richie. I started watching Richie when I was in high school, ladies and gentlemen. When I was in high school, I was like 16 years old when I started watching this dude talking about everything that's going on in place. This is why I take this serious, because when I was talking to my friends in high school about this, they labeled me like I was crazy. They labeled me like I was the crazy one. Even my teachers would spy on me 24/7, seeing what I would do. And if I would hang out by myself at a table with nobody around because nobody wanted to talk to this crazy dude, the teachers would literally, the administration, they would sit with me and they'd be like, "What's up, Ivan? What's up on your mind?" And these people were all Freemasons. They were all Freemasons. I don't watch his videos for conspiracy entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking serious business here, ladies and gentlemen. This ain't no game. This is not a freaking game. You have to be prepared for the worst case scenario of your life as much as you can, and this is why we talk to one another. When Richie says he meets his subscribers, he means it, bro. I've met this man in person. I know how he is. He is really awesome. He's a good dude. And a lot of people in the internet, they'll be like, "Oh, this was this and that and this and that." They talk crap about this guy, but he even said it himself. He's just an a-hole behind the camera. That's all he is. We're real people, ladies and gentlemen. We're not freaking brainwashing anybody. You guys have to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. Same part, banned and deleted of my end. I still can't use YouTube on my original account. This is my backup. Yeah, Tony, it happens. All I was doing was showing their own peer-reviewed Patrick, yes. He is the same in person. Is he the same in Yeah, Banshee, yeah. Dude, Richie's the same in person, bro. Give me my channel back, but it's nearly impossible to post anything. Dang. I got banned for dangerous conspiracy, harmful material, and hate incitement. Yes, Tony. Hey, sometimes we go to... That's why we have to be mild. We got to be like mild hot sauce sometimes. You can't just be like straight up freaking ghost pepper and just go all out, because you will get banned. YouTube ain't that platform for that, I'm telling you. And they threatened to take away my Google account entirely, include my Gmail and everything. I'm telling you, Tony, sometimes you have to keep it chill. I met Richie in Chino Valley. He's a great... Yeah, Patrick, I'm telling you, yeah. I only woke up in 2019 when COVID started. That's when I started investigating it, and I saw a call and up for Rising and others and Richie later on. Yep. I love that pepper. Yeah. I mean, we got to be very careful, especially with my YouTube platform. Like, I'm barely, ladies and gentlemen, after 4 continuous years of doing this, I'm barely trying to get monetized. Barely. But I'm not even yet monetized because supposedly YouTube has put me as I have these AdSense problems. They put me as like I'm an organization or some crap like that. YouTube likes to play these mind games, man. It's so ridiculous. And they put me not as an organization, not an individual, which I'm trying to fix that. And it's just mind blowing how much walls that YouTube continuously put. It's just crazy, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna play this video. But like I said, so many Americans don't pray to Jesus Christ. They don't read the Bible, and these people are literally hardcore when it comes to their religion. They're hardcore. They don't play games, ladies and gentlemen. They don't play games. These people literally worship their lowercase g as it's what it's supposed to be, worshipped as. These people are not playing games. These people will literally murk you, even if it has them get murked themselves. These people are down. And I'm telling you, majority of this American population, we're so dang, excuse my language, but pussified to the point where we're just scared. We're scared little pussy cats. We don't do crap. We run away from everything. And majority of Americans, that's what they're doing. Like I continue telling you, they're unhealthy, they're fat, they're full of drugs, alcohol, fornication, and all these things. With all these distractions on their phone 24/7, watching cat videos, watching brain rot, watching all this stuff. But these folk right here, these folk are literally hardcore. They are taught to, yeah, Banshee, yeah. These people are hardcore. They take their stuff so seriously, it's not even funny. I was on fire. Tabasco Scorpion is hot. I love Scorpion Tabasco sauce, but we're getting off topic, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting off. Yeah, Bonnie, and watching AI videos. If you guys heard that AI Sora is shutting down, supposedly, for that's always for their own agenda, but they're shutting it down. I call BS on that. They're probably gonna come up with something way crazier than Sora. But let's continue moving forward. Of course, we got the Spec Ops. We got the 82 Airborne Army. We got the Army Rangers. We got Marine Recon. All these people that are in special forces are going to go and think they're going to go fight Iran as an easy battle. Did you see the robot? Oh, yes, Bonnie, yes. I still need to watch the video, but I've seen a bunch of people posting about that. Remember, the teachers had to have litter boxes in their classrooms for what the heck, Diane? That's crazy. Yeah, the humanoid AI robot. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, the Navy's right there. That's crazy. And of course, we're all geared it out, ready to go. Like, yeah, this is gonna be another, thing that's just gonna be happening. Terminator, iRobot, all those movies were documentaries. Yeah, they were all predictive programming, Tony. They were all predictive programming. But this is different. This is biblical. This is warfare. They're trying to bring their Mashiach, the Antichrist. Here, I remember the litter boxes were for kids who identified as. Oh my gosh, in Britain, Bonnie, that's horrible. Oh, one more thing, Bonnie. I still gotta send you your stickers. I'm gonna send them up tomorrow. So I'm just letting you know. You know what I'm saying? Since you're here in the comments and you actually ordered something from me, so shout out to you, Bonnie. Of course, they infested that whole place with mines. Oh my gosh, these American troops have no idea what's going to hit them, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Wow, of course the eagle flies away from the... Oh my gosh, the symbolism, ladies and gentlemen. The symbolism in this video is outrageous. It's just crazy. Wow, that's just messed up. But you see the coffins with the American flags on them. You see these freaking captains on their little rubber ducky freaking floaters. Like, so many people are going to lose their lives over this crap. It's sad. It is just sad. That's crazy. That's wild. That is wild. This is some crazy stuff that these Iranian people, whoever's doing it, the CIA, the Iranians, whoever's doing this propaganda, it's literally making the United States look weak as hell. And to be honest, we are pretty weak. We all these politicians that have taken billions of dollars from us, and we don't do anything about it. They continue just stealing our land, making us pay all the tremendous amount of taxes. It's just insane. Damn, I seen some of those other Lego AI videos, but I did not see this one. This is freaking insane. Put it right in our face. Yes, of course they're gonna put it right in your face. And it's just crazy that people are still paying taxes while everything's still going on. We're still paying taxes we're supporting this war. Especially no one's, I know some of you guys have land and all this stuff, but eventually, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to take it by force. They're just going to take it by force. I tell myself, every time, like, I'm like, well, how come I haven't bought my own house? Because I could have had a house in California, ladies and gentlemen. I could have bought a house in California, but instead, I was moving state to state because I didn't want to live in California with all the ridiculous gun laws. Of course, I'm American Mexican gunslinger. I want to have the tools from these free states that, suppressors and SBRs, even though you have to register them in an NFA. In California, you don't have the NFA. You have to, put this weird freaking fin grip on your freaking AR. Your magazine can't come out of your AR. You can't have a flash hider on your AR. You can't have an adjustable stock on your AR. Like, all these things, this is why I moved out of California. If you live in California, props to you. You're behind enemy lines, or in New York, or in a country where you're not even allowed to have these firearms. It's just ridiculous. But it's crazy. It's not a salvation issue. If you don't believe the rapture, you will be pleasantly surprised. Actually, Banshee, that's actually a deception too. Like I explained in my other videos, there's so many, like the ISIS members who've got all these Christians. They didn't get raptured up, Banshee. They didn't get raptured up. They got their heads blown off. They got their heads chopped off. The disciples, they were following Jesus. They were the first disciples of Christ. They didn't get raptured up. They got tortured and murked. Like, why would God take us all up? We have to literally wait for Jesus Christ to come back. That is our goal. That's why he told us 3 times, Banshee. He told us 3 times in the Bible to endure. 3 times in different chapters of the Bible to endure. And he told us about all these things that are taking place in the end times. He said it in detail. Jesus Christ, in his own words, was saying it in detail in his parables. He was explaining to his disciples what the end of the world was going to be like. And little did you know, he said to endure. Why and on top of that, why would God take it lightly on us? We're filthy animals. We're full of sin. And that's why he brought his only begotten son here on this earth to rescue us from that, to rescue us from the wrath of God, because we're all full of sin. We're all full of righteous, filthy rags. That's all we are. Of course, Banshee, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. But I'm telling you, Banshee, so many people who are waiting for the rapture, and they're going to be on their knees with a rifle behind their head, ready to get their head blown off. Those are the people that are going to lose the uttermost faith in Jesus Christ, because they're going to be like, how come I didn't get raptured up? How come you didn't take me up? How come you didn't take us, God? Those people are going to lose the uttermost faith in Jesus Christ, because the rapture that they believed in didn't come true. So they're going to lose the uttermost faith tremendously as possible. And the government is, with Project Bluebeam, all these things that the government has orchestrated, they can cause a fake rapture with these UFO extraterrestrial things that are coming. They're all good. These aliens, so-called aliens, aka demons, interdimensional beings, the fallen ones, all these things are going to come to place. Like Jesus Christ said, in the last days, it's going to be like the days of Noah. Noah and Lot are examples of the rapture. They endured. What are you talking about, Banshee? They endured. They weren't taken up. They weren't taken up. Noah, God literally gave instructions to Noah to build an ark so they can escape the flood that was coming in. God will give you the signs and symbols, and it also says in the Bible to look for the signs. I'm telling you. I mean, I can look up that chapter because I literally have it on my phone. I literally have the 3 chapters that said in my last video of, were being played. It strictly says it right then and there. God is giving us instructions to endure and to be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the way it is. We're not special in a sense. Yes, we are special. We are followers of Christ, but we're not special enough to just leave this trial and tribulations easily and not endure it. It's just not, it doesn't make sense. Jesus suffered so much. Why couldn't God just rapture him up? But he was there for a purpose, to be the perfect sacrificial lamb for us, to literally cleanse us with the blood of the lamb from our sins. It's not going to be that easy. And in other videos I explained why the rapture is a false doctrine. It's just the way it shows. It just shows you he will not put you through this wrath. But that's the thing. We're gonna have to go through it regardless. It's Banshee. It's hard for some people to understand it, but like, the only way we're gonna get raptured up is if Jesus comes back. And Jesus said we have to endure all these things that take place. We'll endure even if we're just in hiding and seeing everything around us. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. And I know some of you guys are hardcore rapture believers. Guess what? I've been through several churches, and you know what they told me? Once saved, always saved. That is an absolute lie, because you can go away from the narrow path and just start bathing yourself in ridiculous sin. And people do that continuously over and over again. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Yeah, Bonnie, it is hard to get off that rapture boat. It is. We just have to have faith and things will happen around us, but won't affect us because God is protecting us. You have to have uttermost faith. You have to. Just like when Peter was over there, I think it was Peter that was, when he saw Jesus Christ walking on the water, and then Peter just put his foot in the water and he started walking on water, but then he started sinking because he lost faith. He didn't have faith. And Jesus even told him, he goes, why have little faith? Why do you have little faith? And that's the problem, like if it was to come to that, I would wish, be like, it'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd be like, well, later I don't have to deal with all you, crazy freaking wicked people in this world. But guess what? It's not the case. And history, time and time has shown us that these people who are waiting for the so-called rapture, they ended up dying, becoming martyrs for Jesus Christ. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy that the times we have to endure. You know what, Banshee, I'm gonna pull up that chapter real quick. Hold on. All right, I'm going to read Mark chapter 13. And I read it from the King James Version. I don't know what version you were, but I try to get the oldest version possible. And he went out of the temple. One of his disciples saith unto him, Master, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here. And Jesus answering said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another, and shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the mountain of Olives over against the temple, Peter and James and John Andrew asked him privately, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled? And Jesus answering them began to say, Take heed, lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to the councils, and in the synagogues, and ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. And the gospel must be first published among all nations. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye, for it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Ghost. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure into the end, the same shall be saved. But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let him that be in Judea flee to the mountains. And let him that is on the housetop not go down into the house, neither enter therein, and take anything out of the house. And let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take up his garment. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. And pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which God created unto this time, neither shall be. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. And then if any man shall say to you, Lo, here is Christ, or lo, here he is, believe him not. For false Christs and false prophets shall rise, and shall show signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. But take heed, behold, I have foretold you all things. But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is near. So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Watch ye therefore, for ye not know when the master of the house cometh, at even, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. We have to watch. You would have to believe those words were written for the people living in Israel now, and that is what they taught us. But look at those people. It was written, us, the bride. The Jews in Israel are not his servants, are they? No. I don't want to argue with you. Like I said, it's not a salvation issue. It's easier to believe in the rapture than it is to believe that you have to endure. It's just the way it is. I don't want to argue with you either. It says it in the Bible. I can't make these things up. It's easier to be blind in this world with fake bliss, and it is to be awake than follow Jesus Christ and the truth. It's just the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, Banshee. You can believe in the rapture. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just letting you know that's the word of God. I'm not going to argue with the word of God. I just ain't. Hey, you think you are censored now? Talk Satan's little season. Patrick, I don't believe in Satan's little season. I know there's a lot of things you guys, believe, but I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's Satan's little season. There's no little season. This is Satan's kingdom. This is his season. His season will be over when Jesus returns. It isn't a salvation issue, but it will cause many to fall, and the beast in the power, if they thought they would be raptured. Yup, Satan's little season is another. Yeah, Bonnie. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just the way it is. You guys have to read the Bible again. And that was just Mark chapter 13. It says it 3 times in the Bible, the same thing. Chapter 20. Read your Bible. What book, Patrick? What book? Like I said, I always try to get the oldest version, the KJV version, the 1611 version, because I want to know the oldest, what they wrote back then. I don't want to know the modern times. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that means, Patrick. But I can read it again. I can read this. It's going to sound the same thing, Mark chapter 13. That's what I just read. But if you read Luke chapter 21, Jesus explains the same thing again. He says it not once, not twice, but thrice. And he also said it in Matthew chapter 24 as well. It's something, we as followers of Christ, we have to be ready for these things. All right. Verse 6 is, blessed and the holy he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. That's after the fact. But I like I said, you guys can believe what you guys want. That's the thing. Only non-believers will be here. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can believe what you guys please. Like I said, I'm literally understanding. Like, I'm not reading it to just be, oh yeah, I'm gonna get raptured. I'm gonna escape this. To learn the Bible is concerned, but my heart and soul is in the right place. Yeah, yeah. That is when Jesus is the ruler. He is not the ruler now. Look around. Satan is the ruler. Yeah, Bonnie. We're full of. It's full of sin. Like, it's full of chaos. There's so many false doctrines out there. It's not even funny. It's just what it is. I tried to read, like I said, the KJV version, the 1611, the oldest version I possibly can. That's the way I do it. There's a lot of people that, like Richie says, read Confusion of Christianity. He says that it explains it a lot, but, currently, I only read half of it, but majority of it, like I said, you got to be careful with people who interpret the Bible. You have to believe what the Holy Bible says, and if it tells you not once, twice, but 3 times that you're going to have to endure this tribulation, no one's going to get raptured. No one's going to be raptured. That's why we have to continue walking this walk of the narrow path. You as followers of Christ, you can believe what you want. That's up to you. I'm not forcing anything upon you, but I'm just telling you that all these things can be based on emotions. That's where false doctrines come in handy, because they'll take over your emotions. I've been to so many churches that even said, I even been to the freaking 7-day Adventist church where they say that they're crazy and stuff, and believe me, they're kind of crazy in the way they believe that the mark of the beast is following Sunday worship, when in reality it says that you're going to get a mark in your forehead and in your hand. So it's just the way, people believe whatever they want to believe, but I'm going to believe the Bible for what it says, and I'm not going to wait for the rapture. I just ain't going to do that. How are we to encourage our brothers and sisters if we're going to die horribly? Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You won't die horribly if you are prepared spiritually, physically, and mentally, and following Jesus Christ and put your uttermost faith in Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, we have to believe that we will endure, and God will help us to endure till Jesus comes back. Not die horribly. No one says you're going to die horribly. No one's saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you follow Jesus Christ and have uttermost faith in Him and have uttermost faith in God, you will endure all of this crap. You'll be walking and you'll be like, doo, 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 and then you see all the freaking wickedness, all these people just murdering each other, and you're just like, well, I'm out, peace. And you're just walking with your Bible, reading it, and you're just like, doo, 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 doo. You see a bomb flying over you, boom, you still have faith in God, you still have faith in Jesus. Keep walking that narrow path, because there's going to be so many paths that lead you away from Him. I'm telling you. I used to believe that too, Banshee, for 50 years. It is not a salvation issue or anything to split brothers. What it is the devil wants. Yeah, exactly, Bonnie, exactly. We are resurrected and live forever in new bodies like Jesus' body when He returned. Yeah, exactly. I'll have to make another video of Satan's little season, but, I got to tell you guys, the Apocrypha, the books of Enoch, Tobit, etc. Yeah, you got to read those books as well. The way I see the earth is like a body, like that pass anyway. We will get new robes on the other side after all it is said and done. Yeah, Tony, yeah. That's why we're trying to get you to follow Jesus Christ and put uttermost faith in Him. Don't put your faith in a rapture. I'm telling you, just don't do that. Put your faith in Jesus Christ. You have to do this, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's hard. I'm not going to force you. I'm only the messenger. I'm only trying to get you to understand this, because, I don't want you to be in that particular situation where you're just like, oh, these satanic agents are grabbing me. They're hauling me. They're going to freaking do horrible things to me. They're going to do this and that. And I'm telling you, things are going to get so bad that people are going to walk away from this narrow path. They're going to get the mark of the beast. They're going to get that. If you want, Patrick, leave all the books, chapters, and verses. I'll make in-depth video on Satan's little season, whatever. But I understand that there's no such thing of that. There's no such thing as Satan's little season, because guess what? Satan, this is his kingdom. He's been ruling ever since the Garden of Eden. He's been ruling this whole time. Satan has been the ruler of this world. That's why. Why do you think this whole country is being run by pedos? Why do you think this country is being run by people who steal your money and tax you? Why do you have to pay a tremendous amount of money just to pay for something that you own and continue paying for it? How come you see all these evil things that are happening? Fornication, these drugs, these alcoholic, all these people who are far away from God, who are in this world, because this is the satanic matrix system. This is what they want you to believe in. There's going to be satanic agents out there who will deceive as many people as possible to get them away from following Jesus Christ, to have no faith in Jesus Christ. They're going to have faith in, like I said, and they're going to be like, oh, this is Satan's little season. It's going to be over. But guess what? We're living in it right now. This is Satan's time to rule. Satan is going to stop ruling once Jesus comes back. It's just the way it is. The way people interpret the Bible, be cautious. The devil seeks to destroy us. He's there to kill, steal, and destroy. It's just the way it is. Yeah, I don't see that this is an argument. This is just a discussion, so we can come into the correct understanding. Yeah, Tony, that's why Satan was able to offer it to Jesus to worship him if he could not, if it wasn't this. Yep. What's up, Amy to love? You have no idea how you have helped me understand a few things already so far. Yeah, I agree that salvation through Jesus is all that matters. Yes, Patrick, that's all that matters. That's all. We're trying to stay as that's why I don't call myself a Christian. I call myself a follower of Christ, because anybody can call themselves a Christian and still be enslaved in sin. God's wrath is not meant for us. Of course it's not. Banshee, it's not meant for us. That's why Jesus died on the cross. That's why Jesus died on the cross for us. Because he gave us a second chance so we can stand in the presence of God, because we are his disciples. We are his followers of Christ. If he wouldn't have done that, this place wouldn't exist right now. Just being honest, it just wouldn't be here. But we have Jesus Christ. We have Jesus Christ. That's how through Jesus Christ. Exactly, Amy. Exactly. That's how we prepare. Hell wasn't meant for us either. It was meant for the fallen angels. They want to take as many of them with them. Yes, hell was for the fallen angels, the third of the angels who rebelled against God, and it was for Satan. But Satan wants to deceive as many of God's children as possible so they can be cast with him. That is the purpose of Satan, to misguide you, to mislead you, to tell you lies, to deceive you. That is Satan's goal. I leave it there, bro. Yeah, Banshee, yeah. It's getting late, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching. I'm American Mexican Gunslinger. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Hit that like, share, subscribe. Do what you guys please. I'm going to leave it off with the prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. For thine is thy kingdom, thy power, and thy glory forever. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys around. Peace.